Well guys, welcome back at ImWateringPSUs. Now, this build right beside me is pretty strange, but I thought we'd do something different. So this is a Ryzen 9 9900X3D PC build with just an RTX 5060 Ti. And now, why did I build such a PC? Because there is someone out there who actually doesn't need a higher end graphics card, because even if you have a monitor like this, and this is the KTC H27E6, basically a 300Hz 1440p monitor which comes in at just $300. Well, this PC right here can max it out, and now we're doing things in reverse today. So I'm showing you guys the benchmark right off the get-go, and as you can see, we are maxing out 300 FPS in Apex Legends, getting a very smooth gameplay, even though that doesn't match my skill gap, which unfortunately is fading every day more. And even in Warzone, we are doing 240 FPS very well. Now, with that said, doing a Ryzen 9 X3D plus 5060 Ti build by itself would have been quite boring, so I threw in quite a few strange products. So let's see what this build is like. Now, of course, it starts off with a nice B850 GB ICE because it had to look all white to look pretty, and I went with some XPG 6000 MHz RAM on it because you can find it nowadays for sale for under $100 for 30 GB of RAM, so it's a pretty good deal. We've then gotten a very strange NVMe. Now, the name is very funny for me in Italian, and I think it is the worst part of the drive, and it's the GiGimundo 2TB Gen4 drive. Now, the name sounds unprofessional, but the drive is actually very good. It's Gen4 3D NAND, and it's supposed to go all the way up to 7,400 megabytes per second, and I tested that in Crystal Diskmark, and it actually hits right around there, at around 7,300 megabytes per second. So it is a very good drive, which comes in at a very cheap price on Amazon at just over $100 for 2 TB of such a high-speed drive. So it's pretty good. And the same can be said for the cooler we chose for today's build. So this is a Yeston Sakura 306mm all-in-one water cooler with an anime girl on the water block. And now, if you guys have been following along at ImWateringPSUs, you know the only reason I bought it is because of that anime girl on the packaging and on the water block. But jokes aside, this thing has a pretty unique color scheme, white and blue, and it is fully RGB, and you can buy it on AliExpress for around $100, even less with coupons, and if you wait the right moment. I was curious to see how it would perform, and it turns out it is able to handle the 9900X3D plenty fine. And we are talking about a CPU with quite a few cores, 12 cores, 24 threads, so it's not bad at all. It keeps it under 80 degrees all the time, even while compiling shaders or under full ADX workloads. Now, we are putting all of this in the new Phanteks Evolv X2. And now, the old Evolv was a great case. Now, if you're among the 3 or 4 people who actually watch my channel regularly, then you know I covered some Phanteks stuff already, because they've been releasing some new interesting things like the Glacier all-in-one and a very good power supply. But this case is insane. Now, it comes in white at $150, but it is all aluminum. It has an insane color scheme with the gray and the white, and it has a lot of interesting features. So let's go over them. It's probably the most interesting part about the whole build. So it has a receding fan slot on the back for the 120mm fan. It has 3 fans on the bottom, which you can mount by extracting the actual bracket. Now, I did mount them all in outtake because I was just after the aesthetics, and I went with some very interesting Alseye or Alseye fans, the same from the air cooler which we put in the Vanguard. And these fans look amazing. They also push out a lot of hair, but in this case we're just outtaking everything, so it's not really doing too much, but they look gorgeous. They're all daisy chainable, very easy to install. The case itself has 3 glass side panels, which you can remove easily by taking off the screw on top, and a very interesting mesh design, mesh cover on top. Cable management on the back is basically pre-made for you. It's impossible to do a bad cable management on this case because you also have a cover, and I think it's important since we have a glass panel and you can literally see everything in the back. But right now, it looks pretty. It looks well made, even though I built it. That's a difficult feat for a case brand to achieve. They even added cable management routing cables on the outside of the case, so you can route your peripherals all the way to the back and make sure everything looks tidy. On top, you mount the all-in-one. You have to remove the actual bracket on top and put it in between your fans and radiator on the all-in-one. Then you just slide it in. It is a bit counterintuitive, but it works very well. The only critique I would move to this case is that we have 3 intake, 3 outtake, and an extra outtake, so just 7 fans in a world where we're used to all these aquarium cases which have a bit more fans, but airflow wise they are more than enough. The case is also lifted off the ground, so we get a bit more air going, and we have a very cool ARGB strip going all the way through the case, from the side to the bottom, which can be connected to the motherboard directly. You don't get any fan controller or any RGB controllers, but you don't need it for the equipment the case comes from. So pairing it with some nice daisy chainable fans, I think is a very good match. I also went with a white MSI power supply, 850 watts, which are definitely overkill for the GPU we're putting in, but they're gonna be good for an upgrade, because let's face it, if you could, you should have made this build with a 5070 or 5080 even. The PC would be a lot more interesting and also look a lot better with a nice white GPU put here. But this nice Ventus 2X GPU is pretty bad, but hey, we had to stay tight on the budget, and I got 16GB version at least. Don't buy the 8GB version, please. Now, another very interesting part is how you cover the screws for your GPU, this little removable piece. This I've never seen in a case, and it is great. Better than what Lian Li is doing and other cases are attempting to do. This is the best iteration I've seen yet. I also love how it matches the PSU shroud. It just looks great. So this case, the Phanteks Evolv X2 gets a full recommendation from me, and I think you should definitely buy it. With that said, I now want to hear what you guys think about the build and what you guys think about pairing it with a monitor like this. Now, talking a bit more about the monitor, this KTC thing is an IPS panel with great viewing angles, which actually is a pretty versatile monitor. I think you can use this for productivity as well, easily. I tried video editing on it, photo editing, the color accuracy out of the box is pretty good. It is not, of course, 100% Adobe sRGB certified, but it is a great panel, pretty versatile, and I think goes well with a build which can do productivity as well as high refresh gaming easily. It's nice to see that nowadays it's pretty affordable to get such a monitor. Just a few years ago, you would have paid nearly $1,000 for a monitor like this. You can now get a mid-range GPU, even though a bad GPU or an overpriced one, but with a nice 5060 Ti, 16GB, you can power this monitor efficiently and make it run how it should. So all in all, I think the build came out right. I can definitely recommend the monitor, but I want to hear what you guys think about all of this. Do you guys like it? Do you guys like the monitor? Do you guys like the build? Would you have changed anything? I know you're gonna say the GPU. I should have at least put a white one, which was a bit better looking. If you watched the video this far, drop a like and subscribe, and see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.